I'm not just talking about the kind of prayers, Lord, I'm traveling from San Jose, driving up to Sacramento for this afternoon's event. Please get me safe. And I get here safe. Oh, God answered my prayer. Well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Who knows? I'm talking about radically answered prayer. I've been a Christian for 45 years. I can say there's probably, I could count them on a single hand, radically answered prayer that I've experienced. But I'm going to give you just one, and it doesn't come from me. It comes from an atheist who used to be a Christian. And years ago, I think it was 2008 or 2009, we were involved in an email exchange, and we talked about the evidence for the resurrection. And then I brought up miracles, and he said, yeah, I'd been there, done that. You know, when I was much younger, I went to church with my dad, and my dad was a deacon or something like that. We had a small church, and he wrote the following. One time my church desperately needed $7,641 in order to keep going. After an all-night prayer meeting, my dad went to pick up the mail, and in it was a check for exactly $7,641 from someone who didn't even know the church needed the money, but had heard one of the pastors speak a few years ago. My dad contacted the giver, and she said that after she'd heard the pastor speak, she felt God wanted her to put some cash in an annuity and give it to our church. The process took several years, and just days before, she decided to close the account and send the accrued money to the church. And it happened to be the exact amount that was needed right after an all-night prayer meeting. He'd go on just a few lines later and say, so I looked as hard as I could, but finally I realized I had no good reasons to think God existed. So we've got some radically answered prayer, and we could give just so many different, I'm sure if there's some Christians here in the audience, you could probably maybe think of a couple of for yourself that you've experienced. These fit far more in line with theism than atheism.